Morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning and welcome to the Game Changing Work Channel with Roxana and myself, Veronica.
Hello. Yes. And today we have a wonderful theme for everybody here today. How fun at work benefits us all. Isn't that fun?
Oh, yes. And, I've had a couple of conversations with one of the engagements that I'm in right now, where a lot of them are thinking about how they can do something fun because typically this time of year, they'll have like a holiday party, people will meet together, they'll do happy hours, a lot of fun things. And so it's been quite challenging for quite a few people, this time of year. But let's just even get back to even the why statement of, how it benefits. And so we have 6 reasons why fun in the office is the future of work, which is an article. It was an HR article in 2018. We're here in 2020 and we're about to go into 2021. Let's see if this still holds true. And then we might challenge, are we doing these things today?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if we're remote or not. It's still the mindset of how we think and want to do things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think, and let's see how much we've learned since 2018 and how much we've been able to apply.
And as you are people leaders, or if you are an influencer or HR and thinking of your strategies of how you can create more of that fun and culture, here we're going to give you reasons why you want to do that if you're not doing it today. Ready for number 1?
I'm ready.
All right. So happy employees are healthier. Now think about that right now, where a lot of people are stressed out. We have a lot of people that might be concerned about, oh, did you see that?
I see
it
that.
Went dark. Yeah. I gotta put another light on. Otherwise it's like doo 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 doo.
But see, that's fun. I mean, come
there
on.
We go. Yeah, fixed it.
You're back.
So yeah, my battery was in charge for one of my lights for my video making. So that's what happens when you forget to do that. Happy employees are healthier. And one of the things, and this article actually talks about UK, but I really don't think this is any different. We all know, and I remember my father was in HR, and before, and some companies still do this, which amazes me, that they separate sick days versus PTO. And the 6 days, a lot of times when people are absent, they're not necessarily sick, they just aren't happy at work. Because I was one of them. I was like, that was a mental health day. I called it mental health day.
True, but it can be recharging day, right? I mean, yeah, I need my time to recharge so I can get back to work.
But health wise, there is, and we talked about it in the last show. So if you haven't watched our show on Wednesday, go back there and watch it, because we did talk about the health aspects of happiness and joy.
It's gonna be on our YouTube channel, so I don't wanna. It's Game Changing Work.
So this is all about well-being, which is extremely important right now. Well-being and mentally. So happy employees are definitely healthier, and it does make sure that you decrease the absenteeism in your company.
And okay, we're gonna get there, because it also enhances productivity and everything else. But the thing is, when I don't know how we came up with the idea that we cannot have fun at work, and that people don't work when they're having fun. When I was talking about it yesterday on the live masterclass that I'm doing, and it was all people, and you and I, we remember some of the best moments that we had at work, that were also some of the best productive moments that we had at work, when we were maybe brainstorming and talking to our colleagues, to our team, and we were having fun as well, and we were having fun together, because that's when that's when we're also a little bit vulnerable with each other. That's the thing. I open up, you open up, I let you know what I like and what I enjoy and what I think it's fun for me, and you let me know what you think is fun for you, and we're having this communication that doesn't happen through conversation, it happens through laughter, and we just open up.
And number two, as you're kind of inching in there,
Kind of.
is having fun improves communication and collaboration. So think about any activity. I'll give you an example, and this is not work, but parties. I remember, I don't have a lot of, I like to go to parties versus having them. I'm one of those. But we ended up having an Italian Christmas one year. And everyone was in their pockets, and not everyone was coming together. Well, there is a game where you can roll the dice and you have like dollars and right, left, center. Those of you that know that game. I busted out with that game. Everyone went around the dining room table and we started playing. Everyone was there talking, collaborating, having fun, and completely changed the dynamic of the room. And it became a lot more fun. Now, that was a party, but what makes it any different at work when you're trying to get everyone together and have something where you can create a unified interest? A lot of times we try to be very corporate-y and say, we're going to have a shared goal. We're going to have, and you know what? It's great in theory, but in reality, as humans, not everyone might not truly care about that goal.
Exactly. And the way in which you can help them care about that goal is if they connect to it emotionally. So that is why fun is great, because when we're having fun, we're connecting emotionally. It's nothing, if you think about it, it doesn't have to be rational, it doesn't have to be logical, it just is. Right? It just is, and we're having fun together and we connect on that level. And then because we had fun together, then we start to also care about each other. And I have a quote that I love. It's from Mary Poppins. You see where I get my quotes these days? It's,
Mary Poppins.
but I love that because she was saying one of the lines was, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. And if you think about the whole movie and everything,
it's about having fun while you're doing
exactly
work.
Right.
Oh, you know what?
Very
That's
focused.
Probably something that everyone needs to watch.
I
watch
think so too. Right.
And it's true, and that's why gamification became quite popular. Now, me being an agilist, we're all about trying to figure out how to bring gaming into learning or gaming into the work that we do. And it's if you're not that creative person to figure out games, you're always a person looking for someone that made something that you can reuse.
Yeah.
So it's essential. And so one of the things that I love, that is why, one of many why I was attracted to Agile was the fact of having fun. When I left from teaching and I went into corporate world, I thought, oh my God, starchy. I was very lucky that my first experience was in the travel industry, and weirdly enough, that group of people like to have fun. But once I left the travel industry, it was a rude awakening for me. And I realized not every company was like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I now talking about, so my experience is moving from nonprofit to the legal industry, to work in law, anything. And you know what? You would think that, you can't have fun with people in a law firm. Well, what I find is that it doesn't matter the industry. It matters if you're a learning organization, in whatever way you can call yourself a learning organization, your people are going to have fun together because they learn from each other and with each other as well. You
Which
have
goes into number 3.
Formal and the informal. So that brings us to number 3, which is
The fun breeds creativity,
Yeah.
which is true.
Mm-hmm.
You want to always, we learned this with my brain based certification and coaching with the newer leadership of when you are in this reward state, which fun is putting yourself in your brain in that reward state. And I'm not going to remember the part of the brain. It's not going to happen this morning. But it actually triggers all where innovation and creativity lies. It's actually a reward for you, and your brain isn't overworking in the sense where you have these emotions stimulated, right? We talked about the magnetic energy. Everything pushing you up into that higher vibe all leads into creative, innovative ideas.
I really believe that, and I really think what also happens is we just take our mind off everything else. So I think having fun and laughing together is similar to maybe going and doing an exercise or meditating or all of the other stuff that we do for self-care. That's what laughter does, because we just relax. We don't think about anything anymore. If you think about what happens when you're having fun, you're just having fun about that stuff. You don't think about anything else. And that's how you get all of those next best ideas, because you just stop worrying about them.
And it says the individual's ability to learn improves when task at hand is enjoyable and they're in a relaxed mood. And so play can stimulate imagination. So that's why we do that with children, and helping people adapt and problem solve. And so when you create environments that allow, and I've been at companies, there was in Chicago, one of the offices in Capital One. And it was so cool because I didn't have access to get up there. It was in downtown Chicago in their like creative design division area. And I loved when somebody would take me up there because it was cool as shit. And everything reeked relaxed mood, fun, and they were highly productive people. Don't get me wrong. But just even the sense when you just walked into that environment, my mind and the way my positioning and how I approached everything completely changed. Yeah. It was crazy.
Exactly. Because you feel safe. It's an environment where you can contribute, where you can have fun, when you can come up with ideas. You're not going to worry about, no, can I ask this question? Should I be asking this question? Should I be making this comment? Should I maybe challenge this situation? No, you're not asking this. You're just contributing and coming up with new ideas and just doing it without worrying that people are going to judge you.
And expecting, okay, I didn't even said that wrong. What the heck was I talking about? Expecting. I'm making fun of myself right now. You ever like in the morning, you start talking and you're like, what are you trying to do?
For me, it's the afternoon, so don't worry.
Yeah, it's Friday, guys. Ever realize like the fun person in the room sometimes is the most popular person, or like the fun person when you were in school, or, you know, this is number 4 is promoting fun attracts an audience. And this is when you look on social media, and I noticed when I'm a lot more upbeat and I get more views than when I'm talking more serious and and what might have it. It's like, oh, Veronica's being a Debbie Downer, or what might have you. And it's funny that happens. And so number 4 is all about promoting fun and how much it actually attracts an audience.
Yeah. So I put here
stories.
Yeah, I put here persuades better, because I think this is what we're talking about, is just bringing people along with you. So you become, we all get each other easier and better when we're also having fun, and when you're communicating in a fun way, because I can connect. Again, I connect instantly on an emotional level when I'm having fun.
Yeah, and Ka Vibes Elsa, hello, on Facebook. It said, yeah, having fun at work with your workmates makes you work more productive and build more friendship while working completely.
Yeah.
The companies where we actually had fun, I mean, we'd have times we're cracking up laughing. I still have relationships with these individuals still today.
Yeah.
And this was 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe that we've even worked with each other.
Same here. And we're thousands of miles apart because
Yeah.
most of them are back in Europe. So, yeah, absolutely.
Now, I know that you already mentioned this, but let's go back to this because as running a business, people care about productivity. Having fun makes employees more productive. Now, this was a study, and this is funny, 2015. Oh my God, 5 years ago. That they found that happier employees are more productive by an average of 12%, and in some cases up to 20% more than a control group. And you wonder what would that research look like today, 5 years later?
Yeah.
And the difference is significant, given that in the terms of economic growth and productivity, it rises about 3% or so, considered very large. I would love if any of you guys have any current research on this. You know, what are the numbers now after 5 years from this article?
Yeah.
I would assume it's probably higher because
I think so.
5 years ago, and we're talking 2015, and that's actually when I was talking about that story of Capital One, that was actually when I was in the engagement. There have been more companies moving in that direction since then.
Yeah. And I think also what happened with the lockdown and the whole virtual work, I can assume that only enhanced this because people felt the need to connect more and differently. So, and what I've seen is in some of the teams that I work with is that when we have fun together, when people on a team have fun together, and it doesn't have to be, making jokes all the time or stuff like that. No, it's just something that I say that might be perceived as funny by you and the other way around. But what happens is we don't waste time communicating. I mean, I don't have to be formal. It just brings informal communication closer. So then I can ask you a question directly, again, without having to think, how am I formulating my question?
Oh, don't even go.
How am I writing this? Who should I be? Should I be
like
CCing?
Polished corporate way of talking.
Exactly.
Drives me crazy.
I mean, think about it. How much time is wasted just with that? Me thinking, how do I structure this and who do I need to CC so that I don't get into trouble? So that is what fun creates, this kind of environment where, you know what, we're all in this together. We're all a team here. It's not just a group of people who happen to be working together. We're a team. So we don't judge each other. We don't blame each other.
Now, just a little bit of facts there of when employees feel low or sad for any reason. I know even at home, if you're trying to do even tasks at home and your mood is like, you either are going to binge out on Netflix, eat, sleep, do something very depressing, which is nothing. And all those things that you were supposed to do are on the wayside. Yeah. You can't tell me this doesn't happen at work. Now, I've gone to work. I'm kind of one of those people where I like to push it away in work, but I could tell you my motivation levels, no matter what, are not the same when I go into work in a better mood. Yeah. I don't talk to people as much, and so, oh, look at that. They may withdraw and communicate less. Didn't finish that sentence. And they generally are less productive. And so that's what ends up happening. This extreme extrovert, and anyone that knows me, I talk a lot. I love talking. That's why I'm on a talk show, for crying out loud. And I don't talk. And it's funny because when I get in these moods, I'm either tired or I'm sad. Those are really the two dynamics. And I stop talking. And the first thing that people say, Veronica, what's wrong? And it's like I almost wonder is it the general concern or the fact that I probably brought them down in my vibe?
Mm-hmm.
Because
I
they're used
probably,
to me being the high vibe, and
yeah.
they like that, and they're like, oh, my mojo lady.
Yeah, it's probably both. I mean, I don't think they exclude each other. They might, care about you, but they also
You
care about
wonder
themselves.
but you also have to wonder this. And some of you that are like an extrovert, and when you're on, and you bring that energy into a room, and then the days you don't have that energy, be mindful and have self-aware of what it does to everyone else around you.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them might, like I said, physically acknowledge this because maybe they are actually dependent on your energy. You actually make their day. I've actually had a couple of people when I worked. I remember when I first started getting into corporate world, it's like my mojo kind of sometimes went, and then, through the years.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had compliments where they're like, oh, you're just always in a good mood. It's fun to be around you. I liked to be around people that were in a good mood.
Yeah.
I cannot be the only one that's trying to find that because it makes their day.
But it's funny how that kind of becomes your brand, your own personal brand, and people expect it. So that is the expectation that they have whenever they are around you, right? And then when you don't meet that expectation, they're like, what's going on here? What's wrong?
I think you hit it on the nail. Is they had always an expectation of how I am.
Yeah.
Now, here's our last one. Having fun encourages advocacy. So advocates act as a powerful force, and this kind of goes into what I'm saying, in shaping the public perception of an organization. So employees that have fun and enjoy what they do and are engaged in naturally sharing stories and act as advocates for your brand on and offline. So think about the people when you meet them and they're like, they love their work, they have fun at work, they're always in a good mood, and the one thing they'll say is, where do you work?
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you ever had a conversation with somebody that you had work envy? Like, I want to work at your company. I know I've had that.
Yeah.
I've actually asked them, I'm like, are they hiring? You are an advocate and a brand of the company.
Absolutely. I think you are, you know what? This is what I've been saying for so long that I'm already sick and tired of saying it, but you have to know your employees are going to be your brand ambassadors no matter what. And some of them might be great brand ambassadors. Some of them might, harm your brand with everything that they say because they're not happy at work. So,
and it goes viral. You heard a glass door?
Exactly. So it's how you are creating the environment. And here we go back talking about the culture that we work in. What kind of culture do you want to create? And then what kind of people are you bringing in so that they match the culture? Because it's the people who build the culture. It's not, culture isn't something that we just eat and then we're all good and then we're all gonna act the same. We're gonna
and fun is different for different people and in different environments. And one of the things that I think is important and we didn't call out, sometimes people will only do after work happy hours and they consider that their fun. Well, not everyone drinks, and some people have to go home and take care of their kids, but doesn't mean they don't want to have fun.
Yeah.
And so we have to be mindful and add variety to the types of things that we are considering and implementing to create fun in an organization or even build your team.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's, there's a difference between what you just said when we create this kind of formal fun where people are supposed to go somewhere and get together, and that's the expectation that they're going to have fun because it says so, because it's happy hour, and that's what you're supposed to do. versus the more informal, where you know that you can have fun together at any point in time
Yeah.
when you're working together. And it's not compulsory. You don't have to have it. It just happens. So
And
that's the difference between the two kinds of fun. And I think
yeah.
it's important because it's like the informal one, whenever that shows more, that means that you have a more relaxed culture where also people feel safer.
And it's not deliberate. So if you have
Exactly.
to always make deliberate moments for people to have fun, then you're not there yet as part of your culture.
Mm-hmm.
You are trying to create that, which doesn't always exist.
Yeah.
So you can do both too. So when I'm saying it's not a,
Absolutely.
or it's a and.
Yeah.
And that is a telltale sign is, and I like where you're going with that, is where are you as a company? So, and here's some of you guys that might be rethinking your career and the companies that you work with. These are great interview questions for you to ask them about what do they do to create an environment that is fun and creative, and see what they say. Because if you're someone that wants to be in an environment like that, which most likely you'll stay in, unless there's some, other reasons. A lot of people, there could be, but you're most likely to stay in an environment like that if you truly enjoy it. Ask those questions. It's extremely important. Don't just ask the recruiter. Don't ask the HR person. Ask the hiring manager of the department and the team that you're working for to see where her or his mindset is on how they approach work, because that's the environment and culture they're creating in the subculture.
Exactly. And just the reaction will do. I mean, to be honest, you will immediately see
Yeah.
it.
I have interviewed with people that I would be like, okay, if that's how they are, then that means that is the environment they're creating. I'm like, nah, that means like, oh, I'm going to be like this at work. One of the things, and I'll be honest, as an agile coach, and then, me going into engagements, and I've done this. I'm at cause, so I self-torture myself, is that I'm trying to find work, and I settle knowing that I'm talking to the individual, and I'm like, shoot me now, just shoot me now, because I'm like, I know what I'm stepping into, and I'm probably not going to enjoy it. And I'm like, why did I take this engagement? Mm-hmm. I'm like waiting for it to end or waiting for my next one.
Yeah.
It's so important to have that connection based on what you value, because the organizations, when I had those interviews and I knew the vibe, right, was high, and what they did, I enjoyed myself more, and they got better, like the best out of me as well, as a coach. So we also, when we go to having fun, I'm going to encourage all of you to get real with yourself and be honest if you're looking for it and you need it. Mm-hmm. That was my point of that story. Exactly. Don't deny what you need and want.
Yeah. And I mean, you can be a good match. You can't, maybe it's not the perfect match for him. Maybe it's not a good match for him, but at least you know, and you kind of understand what's the vibe, because you said it, you go for the vibe. And think about it. When you go for a job that you know you're going to love, you go for the vibe. You don't, I mean, money and everything else will come afterwards, but you just go for that vibe.
Yeah. And I know we're closing, and I'm going to say another thing. I know some of you that are my friends are you're hella fun outside of work, but you're boring as shit at work. Why aren't you bringing that to work?
Because we can talk about it forever.
Oh yeah, I'm leaving with that. I'm slamming it down and calling it, because I see it all the time. They're fun as hell outside of work, but when they go to work, they change who they are, and we have to stop doing that.
Well, that tells me something about the culture there, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anymore right now. Because
I just totally left it that way, because that's going to be probably something in 2021. Is what do we want to start changing and moving towards, where we are creating companies that are innovative and creative, and what I just said requires that.
Exactly.
So we are wrapping
Yes.
up on our
All
time.
right.
Always subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's when you know when we are going to have things. So Friday, I always post what's coming up. And so let's just talk about that real quick.
Okay.
So next week is all about games and fun. So this was kind of leading into the holidays. We figured this is a good idea to stay in this theme. So we're going to have top 10 remote game with coworkers to build communication on Wednesday. And then next Friday, we actually have a guest that is going to talk about the power of improv for business. We have some really good things this week.
Okay. And then quickly talk about your Live Mojo sessions because I love them. I love them. I was there this week and I'm going to be there next week.
So for me, I'm really connecting the world of life coaching and what I do right now in agile coaching and really going into being, right? And this goes into cultures of really wanting to be creative and innovative. And it really starts with in self-transformation, and then you start doing collective transformation. So what I'm going to be doing is introducing a lot more of life coaching and techniques and tips and tricks and sharing my stories of how I am going through this because I had to get real as an entrepreneur. My shit was ugly. And so I'm going to share how and why I got into life coaching and how it's been helping me as an individual be successful. So come join me.
Okay. Go join her. Absolutely. Because those sessions are just awesome. They're incredible. I love your vibe as well. Okay, so
that's why we're together because you and I are just like our match.
Okay, so I have the free bite-sized masterclass series for people who manage people in teams. So we're heading into next week. It's going to be the last week. So see you there on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday because we've discussed the high performance cycle, what we can do to prepare, what we can do to really perform at high levels. And then next week, we're going to talk about recovery. So we're going to talk about self-care. We're going to talk about the power of community in how we do what we do and in how we learn the things we learn and how we lead others, and also the power of purpose in motivation, engagement, and inclusion, because we talk about that a lot, but where do we even start? So join me next week as we discuss these. And then if you want to join the Lead for Legacy League, I'm happy to talk to you about it because it's still on a Black Friday offer by the 15th of December. And this is your chance to develop your management and leadership skills and also be in a community of peers where you can brainstorm and discuss your own challenges and case studies. So
and I'm going to have to do a plug here because a lot of times when it comes to coaching and doing some of these programs, it's usually given to people in higher positions in a company, the CEO, senior vice president, you name it. And middle management doesn't always get the love. This is why I have to encourage all of you. Go to Roxana's all of her workshops and what she's building is to support that group of network, what I call the frozen middle that doesn't get the love. I see it all the time in every organization I go to, that you will be able to, and her and I are going to start working together where it's all about learning, community, coaching, and helping elevate all of you. So that's my plug because we're basically saying we want you to get the same love like a CEO.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, that was awesome. Okay, so that is today's game-changing workshop with Roxana and
Veronica X and O.
Okay, see you.